I really want to just read this in one take, so I'm not going to say anything first. The belly button, a cautious tale of omphaloskepsis, or navel-gazing. Once upon a time there was a girl who had an outie belly button that would protrude when she wore tight shirts or a swimsuit. She hated it. As a little girl, she would always poke at it in an attempt to make it go in, but it never worked. So the little girl lived with her outie belly button for many years and lost all hope of its replacement or transformation. One morning, waking to the usual scream of her alarm clock, the girl found herself feeling a little bit strange, like something had been opened up inside her. Later, as the girl took her morning shower, she happened to look down at her belly button and discovered that it had turned in during the night. After the initial shock and surprise of this discovery had worn off, the girl was overcome with giddy enthusiasm. She couldn't wait to show her friends at school, who had always poked fun at her belly button fixation. Before classes began that day, the girl approached her best friend, one that had been with her since kindergarten. Her friend didn't believe her and asked to see proof. So, the girl, determined to prove herself, lifted the lip of her shirt ever so slightly as to show her friend that her story was indeed true. Unfortunately, though the girl's story was proven true, her friend would no longer be able to provide an alibi, for as soon as she bent over to inspect the belly button, she was sucked into it, leaving no trace of having been there at all. This alarmed the girl, and she ran to one of her other friends and began to recall her story. Of course, her friend didn't believe her, but bent over to see if it was true and to see if she could maybe retrieve the previous friend from the belly button. But sure enough, she was also sucked in as well. That was really repetitive. Shame on me, 8th grade me. Moving on. The girl began to get a little frustrated at this point, yet she continued to go around and ask more of her classmates if they could see and pull the others out. But of course, they all became victims of the belly button as well. The girl went to the school nurse and asked if she could take a look at her belly button. The nurse was also sucked in. The girl went to the police and reported that something strange was going on. But by now the belly button had gotten stronger, and when she lifted her shirt to show the chief of police, everyone in the room was sucked into the belly button. This went on until almost everyone in the whole town had been sucked into the girl's belly button. Finally, the girl decided to see for herself, and bent over to look at her own belly button, and just like everyone else, she was sucked in. She found herself in a white world. Everything was white. There were no trees, rocks, mountains, birds, animals, or even a sun or clouds. You couldn't tell the sky from the ground. In fact, there may not have even been a sky or a ground. It was like standing in a white sheet of paper. Sound didn't travel in this world, except for a dull ringing that drove you crazy after 2 minutes. Everyone else that had been sucked into the belly button was there, and when they saw her, they all ran at her at once, assuming she was the gateway back to the other world. And so they jumped into her belly button in order to get back to the other side. But of course, this killed her, leaving everyone else trapped forever. That was really cheerful. I wrote that in the 8th grade for my best friend's older sister's birthday. I thought it was the most brilliant thing I had ever conceived in my mind. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that.